You are all doing well. Or good afternoon, good evening, whatever what time it is, wherever you're at. It has been a very hot weekend here in Austin, Texas. We saw our first triple digits this weekend while we were out to watching some high school baseball state championship games. But anyway, guys, we are glad to have you here. Today's topic is something I think is very important to keep in mind, and something that is I don't think a lot of people do. Actually, I don't know really anybody else that talks about this aspect of note investing and exactly how to do what we're about to share with you guys today when it comes to actually getting note deals. I mean, that's the biggest thing is people want notes, right? We all want note deals. Some people talk about going after the larger bankers, and that's fine. You can do that. Definitely going after banks. You're just not going to get anything from the bigger 5 or 10 banks that are going to securitize their mortgage portfolio. I mean, they will bump some stuff out, but they're not going to sell it to you in a one-off basis for the most part. So one of the things that I did early on in my note investing career is coming from a mortgage bank at Chase and Bank One previously before I worked in, and also being a mortgage banker in my career as we launched a mortgage company. We worked with the likes of a big bank, World Savings, which then became Wachovia, which then also got sold to Wells Fargo. That was all after, I got out of the mortgage business. But I want to go through with you with a very untapped source. If you will put a little bit of work to it and go through. I know that people are, used to, they want the lazy aspect. They want, is there a listing platform I can go to and buy a note? Yes, there's a few they can go to, but you and I both have been around for a while. They're cherry picked over. It's a lot of the bottom of the barrel stuff. Especially if platforms aren't reinvigorating their inventory on a regular basis, doing their own outside market. Now, I like the guys over at Exchange.Loans, Andre and Mike over there. They do a great job because they're constantly reaching out to banks and lenders for their commercial stuff, and they're getting stuff that they can work through. So it's a phenomenal website to go take a look at. I love what the guys do at Credit IQ. They're not a listing platform, but they do provide some great quality information for you to help you see what's going on in the industry. But many note investors, let's just face it, people in themselves are mostly pretty lazy, right? But most of us, when we get started as real estate investors, what are the things that we're doing? Well, we're targeting what? We're driving for dollars, right? We're looking for the ugly properties in the neighborhood, or we're getting a foreclosure list and sending out postcards and yellow letters and spending thousands of dollars in direct mail to find deals. I don't like doing any of that stuff. I'm a big believer that's all a bunch of garbage for the most part. Don't get me wrong. Yes, you can get deals from that, but you got to go through a whole lot of work. I mean, I was a part of several masterminds where they're literally people are spending $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 a month in postage to get a couple deals in. That's a huge overhead to have every month. And then you got to hire staff. You got to hire people to be able to process those leads and those phone calls. And look, it can be a great business, but then you end up creating oftentimes a business that ends up owning you because you're constantly working. I like the note business because I think if you're a smaller individual, you can make this work for you. Of course, if you want to take it big, you can take it big. It's all up your choice. But the biggest thing that separates most investors from getting the ball rolling is that big overhead. They don't have the money. They don't have the systems in place. They don't have the time because they're doing this on a part-time basis. So today's topic is going to be something that I think you guys are really going to enjoy because it's something that you can do pretty relatively easy and make things happen for you without having to put a lot of work in. You're going to be able to do some great things to help you get deals sent to you direct from sources by just rinse and repeating a few things. Okay. Now, what am I talking about? Well, here in Texas is the land of milk and honey when it comes to being a lender because we have the fastest foreclosures. We've got fast evictions. I mean, it's a really lender-friendly place. It's also friendly to get information, to literally be able to harvest information from the state when it comes to licenses and people that are licensed to do business in Texas. And if you've gone through our 3-day workshop before our Note Buying for Dummies workshop, which we're going to have one in a couple of weeks here, actually in 2 weeks, one of the things that we go through is how to get a list of mortgage bankers or licensed servicing companies that are doing business here in Texas, licensed to business here in Texas. You contact the Texas Mortgage Banking and Savings Department. request it. They used to allow you to download it direct from the website. Well, you've got to email them and ask for it, but they will send you a secure email that you can download. Now, that download list is going to be a company roster of all the mortgage companies here in Texas. You don't need that. It's going to have another download, another Excel spreadsheet you can download, which is going to have a list of licensed mortgage servicing companies, mortgage bankers, company roster banking lists, licensed loan officers, processors, credit union auxiliaries, and then other mortgage company auxiliary services. Huge list, okay? You don't need that whole list. You have to filter through that list. And if you are in our WCN crew, our monthly membership for $97 a month, you should have gotten this morning. I uploaded a new list, a chopped up list, I guess you could say, edited a list a little bit so that you guys don't have to worry about trying to go out and find it and reach out to the county. And I mean, you can, not the county, but you can reach out to the state and definitely reach out to it for yourself if you want to. It's good to do that every once in a while. Hey, John, good morning, John. If you don't live in Texas, you can still reach out to the state lending department in Texas and request it. You can also, and I would highly recommend this, reach out to your local state government agency, whatever handles the licensing of loan officers or mortgage brokers. Every state's a little bit different. Don't ask me to go through it. Some states will have a list. Others will refer you just to the national mortgage license search website, which is just inefficient as hell. Okay. So Texas is still one of those few states that you can actually get on and download a list and request. You should still be able to request a list from the states, but some of them are just going to be, hey, go to the website. And like, that's not an efficient thing. But anyway, let me digress here. So what's going to end up happening? Well, you're going to end up getting a list, and let me share that list here so you guys have a bit of an idea what I'm talking about. If you're listening here, I'd highly encourage you to go over and watch the video. So this is the most recent list I got. So here is the list is already clean. So you can see I've already filtered, got rid of a bunch of stuff. But this list by itself, when you look at the mortgage banker's license, we just look at the number. Let me click over here and filter through it. So between the mortgage bankers registration, mortgage bankers are important, not mortgage loan officers. Mortgage bankers will have a line of credit, or they represent a bank or a big lender, and they have their own money lending off their own technically bank. Okay. There's also mortgage company licenses. Let's see here. Hang on here. Yeah, mortgage company license is not so bad. And then the residential mortgage loan servicing, which is great. So if we look at the bankers, mortgage bankers, there is 59 mortgage bankers on here. Okay. Not a lot. I mean, there's usually a bigger list, but this is just for those that are in Texas. For some reason, they didn't send me anything else outside of Texas, which you might want to go back and ask. Who's licensed to do business in Texas, and those out of Texas are doing business? I probably should have reworded my email. But anyway, 59 bankers, that's still pretty good. That's a day or two of phone calls, and that represents a huge amount. Now, the great thing about this list, just when we get to this list, is it gives you the company name, their street, mail and city. You're not going to really need the mail and address. Then you have a company contact name, a phone number, an email address, right? And if their license is still good. So making 59 phone calls, yes, are you going to get a lot of these phone numbers are going to go into licensing or the main office. And this is probably not going to be the right person you need to ask for. But when you contact the mortgage banker, if you're going to call them, say, hey, mortgage bankers, I want to speak to somebody in special assets or secondary market. Do you have anything on your portfolio that you've had to retain and get rid of? Okay. That's the first place you go to. This email and phone numbers are basically makes it easier for you to upload 59 emails and send an email blast out to everybody. That's what I would do first. Upload the 59 emails, send an email blast out, say, hey, you're looking for notes, you're buying notes. You don't know if they're the right person at blank company, but would love to talk to the right individual. And then just follow up with a phone call. Now, there's a couple duplicates in here because some people are in charge of multiple loans, multiple mortgage companies. And that's okay. So really you have less, you probably got about 50 people if you look at this, give or take. I see Connie Carlson's on here like 4 or 5 times. So that's, less than 50 people, but that's still 50 people you can reach out to and drip market to on a monthly basis, right? We can agree to that. Hey, good morning, John. Good to see you, buddy. All right. Now that's the mortgage banker off this list. Okay. Like I said, this full spreadsheet, you're going to need to separate this spreadsheet up into 3 different lists. The next part of this list is another nice chunk is the mortgage loan servicing company registration. So if we go down, let's see how many people are down here. So from 1,700 all the way down to 18. So there's 105 loan servicers in Texas. Now, here's the thing. Same thing. It's got their names. It's got their addresses. It's got an email address, person in charge of licensing. Some of these are just going to be licensing at or admin at. They're not going to be very effective, but it's still worth reaching out to, doing the same thing, drop and drip marketing to the servicing company. Some of these are big. Like, let's look over here at some of these company names, just so you have a bit of an idea. So there is, okay, you know, Bighorn Capital, they're out of Edinburgh. Some of these are going to be smaller guys that are just local folks that service for their own portfolio, but that's worth going to. You don't understand it. Some people that have notes on their portfolio that are servicers just here in Texas are servicing their own portfolio can be great resources, like Covey Financial. Okay, our buddy Eric Covey's on here. He's probably got another one under here under Toro, if I remember correctly. Let's see here, because he services a big list of, maybe not, maybe it's just under Covey now. But anyway, Zeus Mortgage, Zippy Loan Servicing. There's a whole bunch of services on here that represent either individual investors who have their own servicing company or some larger companies. Okay. These are all people that are in Texas. So if you're looking for Texas notes, great, you're probably going to find a bunch of stuff here. Everybody likes Texas stuff, whether it's performing, non-performing, where it was institutional or owner finance stuff. This is a good list for you to reach out to. Now, yeah, so this like 100. So basically what I would do, you go from 1811. So, but yeah, it's 104, 105, same thing. Drop an email out to these guys and gals. Say, hey, I don't know if you're the right person at blank mortgage company or blank servicing company in charge. I'd love to talk to the person in charge of, but this is a servicing company, either their special assets department or their business development department. Okay. So some of these are bigger services. Like let's look, see if Halo's on here anymore. Well, Habitat for Humanity's on there. That's a big one. Let's see, Tony Harris. It's an individual. Okay. Halo's not on here. So anyway, but that's what I'm trying to get at, ladies and gentlemen. You've got 160 technically contacts there, roughly, give or take, that you can reach out to. Now, the third party group on here that you really probably don't want to waste your time on is going to be the Texas mortgage. The Texas company roster list. I left that on there just for the heck of it for you. Texas mortgage company license. Most of these guys are not going to be portfolio lenders. They're not going to probably have a lot of stuff. They're just being brokers. And some of them might have stuff that they retain for their own portfolio. And so you can still drop it out to them because that list is a little bit bigger. So we go from 60 down to, yeah, so that's 1,640 names, 1,646 names. So if you've got the room, it wouldn't hurt for you to drop an email to these people and say, hey, I see that your person in charge of licensing, do you know if your company has any notes for sale? Who's the right person? It doesn't hurt to drop an email to reach out to people because you never know. Some people will have stuff. Some people will be referrals of stuff. It's a good thing to do, and then start that whole marketing campaign. Like I said, you send out on a Tuesday, you follow up on a Thursday with another email that didn't open. Those that you send email on Tuesday, those are maybe the ones you make a phone call to Wednesday and Thursday as they open. Because that's an effective way. If you're looking for Texas deals, this would be a great way to get the ball rolling, to find notes from mortgage bankers and loan servicing companies and mortgage companies here in Texas. The most effective servicing and bankers, probably least effective mortgage company, because there's a lot of people just originating. And some of these people have probably moved on too, with the amount of people that have gone out of business or left the business, or mortgage companies that have closed. So don't be excited to get a lot of bounce back or inches. Now, on the servicing or the mortgage bankers, if you do get a bad email, you probably want to pick up the phone and see if the company's still in business. But check out definitely if you get an out of office responder, see who they directed to. Those would be worth picking up the phone and calling and knocking out. Now, can you hire a VA to do this? Yes, you can hire a VA to do this. You want to make sure that their English is good. Give them some questions to call. Who's the right person there and handles your bad assets? Do you have any notes in your book that you're looking to get rid of? That kind of stuff. Over the next couple months, you're going to see us talk a lot more about like the banking blitzkrieg, starting those conversations, getting the ball rolling. It's important for you guys, if you're looking for assets, don't rely on the low-hanging fruit. Yes, if you're one of our one-on-one coaching students, you've gotten lists of hedge funds, stuff like that. That's great. Keep targeting, keep making phone calls, keep reaching out to those people. That's great. And if that provides enough business for you, by all means, that's phenomenal. But the thing that you have to keep in mind is keep that outreach going. You got to keep marketing. And the easiest way to do that, honestly, is like what we share on here. In reaching out via email, following up with a phone call, jumping on LinkedIn. That's what I would do. Like, I know, John, you've got a VA or two that are doing some stuff. So it might make sense for you to give your VA that list of bankers and servicing companies and see if they've got names. So those that have names, because the first name and last name, and they're all in Texas on this list, so it might be good to jump on LinkedIn and see if you make the connection with LinkedIn. Hey, I think you're the right person at such and such company. Do you know if your company has any notes available for sale, performing or non-performing residential or commercial notes they're looking to get off their books? And that's the route I would go, ladies and gentlemen. It's not difficult. It's dropping an email, doing it on a regular basis. If you've got a CRM, hey, guess what? You're adding 1,700 to 2,000 contacts to your CRM. Remember, split it up in 3 lists. One, the mortgage company roster list is going to be your least effective. So if you're strapped for contacts, then just send your mortgage banker and then your servicing company. But get in the habit of sending these out at least once a month to these asset managers and these servicing companies professionals, because that's the only way you're going to stay ahead of the ball game instead of waiting to cherry pick or the crap off of other platforms. That's really not deal flow in a lot of cases. Yes, you can make this thing happen, but it's not a long-term, doesn't build a long-term success. Yes, you can buy, and I think it's great to go there. And if you can find 1 or 2 you're happy with, that's a great way to get the rust off, learn the process, get your training wheels working for you. But really taking your business that next level is all about growing your contacts, growing your lead gen, and just following. You never know when these individuals are going to have something for you, right? And usually if they've got something, it's going to be a sizable amount of notes that they have on a regular basis. And I'm not telling you to send any letters. Don't send any direct mail to that list, okay? Don't waste your time. Send an email, jump on LinkedIn, follow up with a phone call. Those are the 3 facets, 3-touch approach. And you can do it once a month. Like I said, if you send an email out to 2,000 people, you're probably going to get a 20% open rate or higher on these. You're going to want to make sure you use a CRM to make sure that your email is DKIM, whatever that security thing is, so that your emails don't bounce back or get tagged as spam. A lot of these companies have higher spam filters, so you just got to follow up with a phone call. It makes sense. Your email may go into spam junk folder. That's why you just touch base with them and keep going. And it's probably not going to be the right person initially with the licensing, but it's a great way to get your foot in the door to get the list of. And we've had success with this list over years. The first time we did years ago, we got 3 notes sent to us. All right. Next time we went to, we got 100 notes sent to us. Banks and lenders are looking to move stuff. All right. It's something to keep in mind. It's definitely something that you want to be reaching out to and increasing that aspect as we now get into the middle of the year. We're now into, we're coming up on Q3. All right. Here at the end of this month. So Q3, Q4 is really going to see a lot of stuff, residential, commercial. Make those connections now and just start that marketing campaign. Kind of go to old school. Yeah, you could sit around and talk till you're blue in the face, talking to other note investors like yourself. But if nobody's marketing them out, then they're just kind of, I hate to say, their sales are incestuous, is buying and selling from the same few people. And then when you run out of deals from those same few people, there's no note deals. Well, there's no note deals because you don't know how to market like it's the 21st century. Okay. Any questions, any comments, any concerns for you guys before I let you go today? I just wanted to go through that aspect. It's not hard. Go to the Texas Savings and Mortgage Lending, request it. If you're part of our WCN crew or one of my coaching students, you already should have gotten the list that I just went through briefly. If you're out of state or want to do that, then reach out to I think in California, it's the Department of Real Estate. In some states, it's the Department of Insurance. Some states, like I said, you have to pick up the phone, give your state licensing, who handles in charge of licensing from mortgage lending. Like I said, maybe the insurance department may have the mortgage and lending. It may be real estate department like it is in some areas. Okay, it might cost you. I think California used to charge like $50 or $100, and they would send you they used to send a CD-ROM. First time I requested years ago, it was a 3-inch floppy. Then it came on a CD-ROM. Then it came as a thumb drive. Then they finally got smart and realized they could send it as a secure download. But that's a huge list. So you got to be specific. Tell them exactly what you're looking for. A list of mortgage bankers and servicing companies that are doing business in the state. is the easiest way to ask for and see what they say. All right, everybody. And we will probably do a calling bank asset managers off these two lists here in the next few weeks. So stay tuned for that as well. So any questions, comments, concerns before I let you go for the day? Was that helpful for you? Kind of walking you through that process? Get the list, send an email blast, jump on LinkedIn, send a message request there, and then pick up the phone and call. And when you get up the phone, you can ask for the person on the list. If they don't answer, they're not there, then ask to see if do they have somebody in charge of special assets or secondary marketing or their note sales department. All right. Great stuff, everybody. Go out, take some action, and we'll see you at the top. Thanks for listening, everybody.